Hello there, Dr. Alexander Unzicker. This is David D. Hillstreet. As you know, I've been pushing your books a lot. I haven't gotten to them all yet, but especially the Higgs Fake, because I think that's, in my opinion, one of the must-reads for everybody who loves science and loves physics and cosmology. So, and you also mentioned about working together, and I have come up with a great idea on how to do that. I think it would be good for you, good for me. I know I've been driving a lot of people in your direction, even on your YouTube channel. I tell them people all the time. I noticed that you've gone through, when I started my YouTube channel, you were about 300 and some. Now you're almost, I think you're past 800 now. So I'm not saying, obviously that's not all me at all, but I'm a super admirer of your work. How you go out there and do these things is quite amazing. But what I would like to do is propose the following to you, and this is why I'm making a video, because I'm just comfortable with this and there's a lot to say. Instead of typing this all out, I'll just show you. And it has to do with ScienceWoke.org. We were doing a Critical Thinkers website. This website, ScienceWoke.org, is backed up and is supported and paid for by the CMPS. And the idea is this is the landing place for people who want to think outside the box, outside of the mainstream. This is totally a marketing venue, a marketing website. When I send people toward our CMPS website, it's really more for people who are geared to already have their own theory or their own work. They've already been working in the field and they're looking for support for their work. We really don't have a website that is really geared to the general public. And after many decades of working with this, in fact, my first websites I put up were in 1995, so that's what been 2005. It's been over 20 years. So, and I've been around this kind of group of people since 1996, so over 20 years. And I finally put together a website that I think is really, really good and will be really interesting and ask the questions that people have. Now, the whole philosophy of this website is that we are in a model revolution, meaning we're going to have people working on different models. There's not a agreement, and there should never be. But eventually, I think one of the models will probably come forward and be more supported. But I think we're still not there. So the idea with this is for critical thinking, is to show the general science-loving population interesting things, present it in a way that they can understand where a position is, try to get over their obstacles before and answer their questions before they even ask them. And the last thing I noticed is almost no one in our group is capable of writing sort of journalistic articles or interesting articles that the general public would like. They can only write about things technically. They don't know how to write a story. They don't know what the interesting points are. They don't know how to sell it. And I find myself on this website writing almost, 98% of it or more. And yeah, I'm pretty good at it, but I also don't have a lot of time. I work 40 hours a week. I work with supercomputers. I work in the supercomputer department of LexisNexis, human language and supercomputers. That's my sort of specialty. But so I'm not doing this. I don't have some donor that come along and make me able to do this full time. So I'm not being able to do this, but I have a way to get there, and it involves you and a friend of mine. First of all, it involves you in the sense that I would like to invite you to be one of the chief editors of this website. Not that you have to go through all the articles at all. It's mostly to lend your name because you have a great name recognition outside of mainstream physics, and so it's sort of to give credibility to this website. It also does not mean you endorse everything here. This is an open platform where we have people, there are going to be things here, and I'm putting all kinds of people's theories here that I don't agree with. But the idea is, no, we should be allowed to try those out. We should be allowed to test things out. We should always be allowed to question. And so you're not endorsing anybody's theory. You're not endorsing any of the things, even on this website. You're just saying, Yes, you are critical. You and I agree we should throw physics out from 1930 on, maybe even before. It's you know First I want to let you know this is not a commitment that, oh my gosh, someone says the Big Bang's wrong and maybe you think it's okay. No, it's not that at all. It's just we would be using you literally for your name and your celebrity, and also have you write articles when you feel like it. And we would do more journalistic articles. And the idea is we can really turn a lot of people toward this. I think it would be very popular. The second person I have in mind is a friend of mine, my best friend, who I developed a new computer language for natural language. I've been working with him for over 30 years now, maybe coming up on 30 years. He's really a genius kind of guy, but he's more computer. But his wife happened to be a top editor at the LA Times, the largest newspaper in the country. She knows about the work of our organization. Her husband is, agrees with all these problems. He's a big fan of the work of the CMPS and the things I've been doing. We talk about it all the time. Sorry. Now you're gonna yawn. And I'm going to be talking to her about how we can then, if you agree to this, I will show you. I'm going to show you. So don't go away. I'm going to show you the website, and I'm going to show you my plans. But the idea is, if you can get on board and agree to what I have here, then I can talk with her, and we can go toward writers, real journalists who are interested in science. And yeah, maybe 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 100 are going to be willing to say, I don't go with all this mainstream stuff anyways. I'm going to make a name for myself writing in this area. And this would be the website for this, and the website to do this in a journalistic way. But your name would be as an executive editor, and usually executive means you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but you could do the articles. So let me show you some things here. I know I've been droning on here for 7 minutes already, but I'm going to show you the splash page for ScienceWoke.org. You may have already gone to it and seen this. Now, a couple of things. This is not announced, so unless somebody just types in ScienceWoke.org, they would see this. I have this blurb, and yes, it's live, but we have no links to it right now. So let me show you that. And this is the landing page. I show people who are working on it. I have numbers of people already going through this. I've already ran this by a lot of people who are better at marketing in our group, so we've really thought a lot about this. We were going to call it critical thinkers, but critical thinkers doesn't say science. Science woke goes with politically woke, racially woke. Woke is a great term, and believe it or not, only about a month ago this was available. So what you're seeing here is only about a month and so. So Science Woke coming soon. We can log in. I'm going to show you the site because you have to have a login right now. It says join our science writing team. If you are a science writer or aspire to become a serious science journalist, then consider becoming part of our cutting edge science writing team. You will be working with cutting edge scientists from around the world, writing compelling stories about their discoveries, their struggles, and their exciting new theories and models. These scientists could become the household names in the future. I've got could spelled wrong. I will change that. Again, this is only just to put on the splash page, and if you agree to it, then we can announce this. But right now it's not announced, and we won't be showing the website until it's done, which is going to be a few months anyways. Then it says, join world-renowned cutting-edge science historian and journalist Dr. Alexander Unzicker, author of The Higgs Fake, Bankrupting Physics, and Einstein's Lost Keys. The site is run by editor-in-chief and science blogger David D. Hilster, CMPS president and vlogger of the popular YouTube channel Dissident Science. As you know, I'm getting close to 3,000 people. And it says, contact us. It says, if you are interested in a tour of the website and a possible position as a contributing science writer, contact us at contact@sciencewoke.org. And then I have a picture of you. You got great pictures, by the way. Congrats. I mean, it's wonderful. Physics and science historian, Dr. Alexander Unzicker. I have links, of course. If you click on this, you'll go to your website. Is executive editor and contributor to the ScienceWoke.org and vlogger of the Machian YouTube channel. Here I put me, David D. Hilster, is the host of the popular YouTube channel Dissident Science, and is editor-in-chief for the website ScienceWoke. So this is what my proposal is. It's there live. I will correct the spelling on that one thing. Yes, if someone types it in, they'll see this. I have no problem with say, Dave, take it off. I don't want to be a part of this, but I think this would be great for you and for because this would bring a lot of people toward your work, and we would have recommended books to read, and yours would all be on that list for sure. So please think about it. Now let me show you the website, and you're probably saying, well, I don't know, what's the website look like? It's pretty cool. Actually, you saw our logo here. Of course, I think it's pretty cool. It's you got a logo's got to be able to tell you like that. The eyes wide open is woke. This explanation board is like thinking, hey, what's going on? Sort of and it's tilted a little bit. It's a beaker, so it's science. Can't really get easier than that. So I'm a graphic artist, and actually artists go to hilster.com. See my I can draw you your portrait, stuff like that. So anyways. What am I telling you all this, okay? But basically, this is the website. And the things that you hit right away are start here. I'll click on that later. But you have these. I'm going to click on home again so that we can get these going. But we have banners across what I call the big articles that people can read. So let's take a look at those. And how big science fools us all. And these are what I call big articles, and I'm writing these articles. Some of them are more done, some of them are less done, and I don't know why that's not going forward or backward. Hello, that's weird. Oh, it's down here. That's because of the size problem. I'm trying to make it so you can see it, so they're down here. Why science, mainstream science sees no crisis. Scientific revolution is here, and here's why. That's actually a really interesting article I wrote. I'm going to show you a little bit about that. It has with Kuhn, and this is my own article, and I think it's one. I think I've really hit on something here, talking about the Kuhnian cycle. And you have normal science, model drift, model crisis, model revolution, paradigm shift back to normal science. Well, the model drift started, I think, when people started using Newton's laws to start to look at models like Lesage model for gravity and ether models for light. The model crisis starts with Einstein, who I'm talking about his special relativity and his general relativity, where he imposes rules upon the universe, and then and that starts a whole cycle of invention. That is, will make the laws of the universe and everything else fit them. You got the neutrino, you got the quarks, you've got W and Z particles, you've got the Higgs boson, all that stuff. But the real model revolution, the first models using Newtonian physics, really is still going through the present, where today in our outside group we have ether models, we have particle models, we have lattice models, and we have sort of action at a distant model. And that's what we're really I talk about those kinds of things. So these are the kinds of things I'm writing. They're very journalistic. The modern crisis. Look here, there you are, and we're in model revolution. Real advances during the last 450 years. The whole idea. So people are going to say, oh, we haven't figured out a model for light, gravity, and all that. Anyways, that's one of the articles as well. I've got some other articles I'm working on. These are big picture articles that get people to look at it. Now I know the stupid models. I've got those again. I thought the scientific rules become science woke. That's a really good one. What does that even mean? It means being a critical thinker. And I really came up with this really great, I'm talking about myself, coming up with great ideas, that their objective is to be science woke, that the community are critical thinkers, and their home is in natural philosophy. I just think that is just super. And being a science woke means being a critical thinker, recognizing mainstream as taught today has major problems, recognizing and studying new theories and models being proposed to fix, recognize that you have to look at those, joining the process of proposing new solutions and new directions for science. And it talks about investigate all the claims themselves, make their own educated decision. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. It's I think a very good article. Again, becoming science woke, and that's going to be in the start here. I'm going to show you still. Don't go away, man. Please watch this. And then we have problems in science. And basically all of the fields in science, black holes, we have Stephen Crothers talking about that, plate tectonics, expansion tectonics, much better. The Big Bang, we have that, relativity. We have like the GPS guy who has 30 patents who says that that they actually add the speed of light to the speed of the um, the satellites. You can't do that with special relativity, but they do. Quantum mechanics, dark matter, particle physics, of course, that's one area that you would be involved. This all works really great on a phone. When you go down and scroll down, these little things come out, and it's pretty cool. You can click on one of these things. Anyways, if you are going to be interested, I will give you a login to this. And here you have big problems, severity is fatal, mind blown. The Big Bang is under attack and is being abandoned for a steady state universe. Talk about redshift, and we have articles, other explanations for redshift. Galaxy distributions doesn't support the Big Bang. This is by Ray Gallucci. It was presented at our 2018 conference just this year at the University of Connecticut, where he looks at the distributions of galaxies, which do not show a Big Bang. So anyways, that's pretty cool. Then we have scientists, and these scientists, I need to put you here too. I need to get your permission, but you can see all these people who have their own, who have their work. But interesting scientists, Dr. Halton Arp, you may know him, Dr. Cynthia Whitney, who is our chief scientist. She's got a PhD from Mike. Let's take a look at her. This is really quite interesting. And here I'll show you how we're selling this very differently. We have little categories in the post and WordPress. Mind blown. Female with PhD from MIT in physics and relativity, who is now critical of relativity. She's a physicist and editor, blah, blah, blah. Education, a PhD in relativity from MIT, blah, blah, blah. Did a finite speed of gravity propagation cause a spiral pattern of a galaxy develop? That's pretty interesting. So the story here is like, okay, if you're a high school student, you just took an adjunct course in physics in MIT and fell in love with science. So early 1960s, although you're female, what do? You fill out your application at MIT and neglect to apply to any other school. You get accepted and tell your parents that, and they can't let you go anywhere else. Anyways, it's pretty cool. You get these so you get this style, and then we'll have historical scientists who are dissidents. This is pretty interesting too, of course, new theories. I need to put your stuff down because you've been working on it too. Jeff Yee, Glenn Borkert. We have ether theory. It's a rudimentary ether theory with Lionel Denou. We have the universal cycle theory. My father and I have a particle model. We have autodynamics, blah, blah, blah. But again, the same kind of thing, and you can click on somebody's like Jeff Yee, and he has his there, and you can see author Jeff Yee. Premise: the universe is made up of energy waves. Simplifies the standard model from 19 free variables to 4. Better than another guy that, and actually, he has a really good model. It's very interesting. We have the YouTube channels. I believe we have you here too. Yep, there you are. I put me first. Because I've got a lot more subscribers. I'm more general. That's the reason, not because it's better or worse. We have our other YouTube channels there. We have theory comparisons. I'm still working on that. This is a really interesting part too. Stories. So you have stories fighting big science. So we've broken our stories down to fighting big science. That is stories about people who've been ostracized because they fought the establishment. We have this other one. This is from Nick Percival, who is actually from Harvard graduate, very super bright guy, and he works with special relativity and time. And he just suggested eureka moments, big picture, like the ones that I saw that I was writing that are on the front page. And these are big picture, swathing pictures that will help people. And if you go down here, we have fighting the big science. These are all posts. These are articles on the website. We'll take the latest 3 and put them here. Eureka moments, the latest 3 and put them here. Big picture, I actually have these selected, but that's how you get started. And that's the stories. So if you go to Fighting Big Science, you can click on that, or you can click on from that same page. You have Ricardo Carrazzani, Stanford Linear Accelerator, where he did one experiment. It didn't turn out. He needed to do a second one. They wouldn't let him do it. Bill Lucas, a really bright mind. He has a story about he was kicked out of being one of the most promising young physicists in the United States in the late 70s, and he was kicked out because he criticized Einstein. This guy has an entire story there, kicked out of the University of South Wales because he has shown Schwarzkopf's equations for black holes. They are a mess. I've got a degree in math. They are a mess. It's a joke. And of course, Halton Arp and his peculiar And then we have Eureka moments. This is really interesting too. This would be anybody who wants to tell a story about infinity, which is a very important part of people's work outside. The news underwater experiments, which clearly show how magnetism, positive and negative, attract and repulse. It gives what I call the the Deneuve effect. Accidentally solving the wave particle duality. My father actually solved that. One solution to it. Dr. James Maxwell moving south poles made him change from a regular geologist to an expansion tectonist. And of course, we have the big picture, and there are lots of those, which I've been writing. I think a lot of interesting topics. And of course, we have about it, and we're going to then put another page for the authors and the editors. Those people will have names, so we will then have authors for this. And my idea is to attract people. This is our member site. Testimonials, I don't know if we're going to have that or not, but these are just sort of things about the CMPS, talks about that, and again, I will have something there. So that's the site. At the top, we have our members website, we have forums, we have our Wikipedia, which we can do anything we want. It's the exact same software. I spent many months downloading the open source software that Wikipedia has, and we have the exact same things, and I even allow it to have equations. So we have over 10,000 pages on that, most of them abstracts. We have scientist profiles, over 2,000, between 2,000 and 3,000. We have an online university, which we're going to start using and doing. So that's about everything, and this is a great website. I want you to be associated. I'm going to go back to this. It would be a great honor to have you as a part of this because of your celebrity status, in my opinion, and your great work. I only talk about you've got to read these books because you're a person standing up. I am a super huge fan. I consider you a very important, if not the most important journalist out there, outside the mainstream. And to have you on board with this project, again, it's not that you endorse everything here, but you are here to say we should be able to critically think, and we should all be able to try our models, and there shouldn't be people saying that we can't do this, because that's the way science moves forward. So thank you very much again. If you don't like it, like I said, this is there so you can see this right away. And if you want this taken down because you don't want to be associated, there's no problem. I will change this, and that's easy to change. But like I said, it's not public. But if the moment you say you would like to be a part of it, I will give you a login. You can say, Dave, I'm interested. Send me a login, and I will send you a login so you can log into the site. You just go to here and then click on login and do your login. Then you will be able to look at the site, make up your decision, and if you decide to be part of this, you would, I think you're going to get a lot of traffic. I think your stuff you're going to get a lot more, and I think you're going to produce more of your videos, your YouTube channel. I have several ways to turn this on and get a lot of people in this direction. I just don't do it because we're not quite ready. We have a lot of questions still to answer, a lot of things to fill out, and my goal is really to get some writers in this before we even start and have them on board, and I need that, and I want to know if these writers are going to be able to see your face and your books for inspiration, and that's what I'm hoping for. So thank you, and no matter what happens, no matter your decision, I do not take that as anything bad or any criticism or even what we're doing. But I greatly appreciate if you would become a part of this endeavor, because the idea is to create a whole new set of science journalists whose whose mission is to challenge mainstream and show them the great work that's going on there, show them the problems, and bring this, because I think the majority of scientists don't believe the mumbo jumbo physics today and all this wild cosmology in different dimensions. I think they're waiting for something to happen, and they're waiting for a site just like this, and having your name would be a great honor. So take care, and let me know. Thanks.